How much silver would it take to replace your full-time income? Good evening, America, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So, folks, just being this evening, as you all know, I am a massive fan of the Scottsdale Mint, and Scottsdale is only a few hours from where I currently live, so probably going to be taking my next vacation there, and I'm probably going to do an episode at the Scottsdale Mint. But without further ado, we are looking at a Scottsdale Reserve. This 2020 Scottsdale Silver Reverse Round incorporates two advanced laden security features, enhancing both authenticity and visual appeal. The security elements change depending on the viewing angle. Right here on the verse, the Scottsdale Lion and the Reserve logo. But if you notice, you see the Scottsdale Lion right there, come and go, appear or disappear based on how the light hits it. But what's very spectacular is on the reverse, the words Reserve and Scottsdale become visible or vanish within the sunburst pattern. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. This is probably my favorite part of the piece, is the reverse. Beyond its security features, this round boasts proof-like visuals, combining frosted and mirrored finishes for a stunning contrast. We go back to the verse, showcasing the Scottsdale Reserve logo at the center, with the Scottsdale Lion subtly placed in the background. The coin's weight, purity, and other hallmarks are engraved along the border, reinforcing its credibility as a high-quality silver bullion piece. Of course, back to the reverse, the Scottsdale Mint presents a larger depiction of the iconic Scottsdale Lion, set against an intricate sunburst design that enhances the proof-like elements, making this round a standout choice for both investors and collectors like ourselves. But incredible. Highly recommend. If you don't own this piece from the Scottsdale Mint, jump on it ASAP. Currently, a lot of these Scottsdale Mint pieces are still very affordable, hovering around spot price. I know spot price has been going up and up. I love it. I mean, what else should we have expected? Because like I said, folks, it ain't gonna go back down to 30-40 bucks. It's just not gonna happen. I want to say at the lowest might drop back down to 49-50 bucks, but that's gonna be the lowest we're gonna see it from this point on, because it's gonna get higher and higher, and it's probably gonna level out right under 3 digits or right at 3 digits. Remember what I said. So before we go any further, folks, I'm going to give a quick shout out. This is F37 Metal. Thanks, Silver Dad. Great video and interesting info. I'm 56 years old and 5'10" and 187 pounds. And I eat 1 or 2 times a day. I'm very active every day, plus very fit. I'm the lead singer and rhythm guitarist for the band F37, and we move all our 100s of pounds worth of gear all by ourselves. Look at all the people from the 1950s. An overweight person was extremely rare at that time. Now it's like 3 out of 5 that are very overweight. It wouldn't hurt a lot of these people to skip a few meals. If you drink a big cup of water, it makes your body think you're full. It works for me all the time. Keep stacking the shiny 90% silver. You rock. Awesome comment right there coming from F37 Metal. Super loyal subscriber and always leaving fire comments. And this is one of many fire comments. And, I'm always recommending fasting, folks. A lot of people don't understand that not only are you going to feel better, you're going to look better, you're going to save money, because eating is one of our biggest expenses. I talk to so many people where their mortgage might not be killer, their car note might not be killer, their insurances might not be killer, but their eating out bills are, where they tell me, oh yeah, I easily spend $2 to $3 grand a month just on food. That's not good. So imagine all that money you didn't spend, or you cut it in half, or you only did 1/3 of what you're normally doing. And you're telling me you're an obese person, you're going to look great, you're going to feel great, and you're going to save so much more money that you can put into hard assets like gold, like silver, like your real estate, but more notably, your gold, your silver, ammunition, firearms, silver, silver, silver. I mean, when the money's there, put it to use. And fasting is one of the easiest ways to raise your income, if you know what I mean. Because people think that they're on these set incomes. No, you are not. You are on a set lifestyle. Get out of that set lifestyle and go into a more stable lifestyle. And I'm speaking for myself because I used to spend $2,000 a month just on food. Stupid. Now I don't. I spend probably half of that, if that. I feel way better. I haven't gotten back up into the 200s. I've been well under 200 pounds, and I'm almost 6 feet tall. So it's the best of both worlds. Again, I cannot stress fasting will save your life, and it will save you so much more money you can put back into silver. And it's so funny because most people never stop to ask the most important question in the entire stacking world. How much silver would it take to replace your full-time income? It's not a fantasy question. It's a blueprint for financial freedom in a world where currencies weaken and purchasing power dies. When you look at silver not as a shiny collectible, but as a hard-hitting income producing asset, you start to see the metal differently. You start planning not for the next sale at the bullion shop, but for the next for the day your stack itself becomes your paycheck. And that day comes sooner than most people anticipate. To replace a full-time income, you need to understand two things: how much you spend each month and where silver's price will be in the next economic cycle. Let's assume the average modest lifestyle today takes around $3,000 to $4,000 a month to maintain. Again, probably not enough money for my household, but there's a lot of households that could make it happen. $3,000 to $4,000 a month to maintain. That's $36,000 to $48,000 a year. In a weak dollar economy, that number rises while wages often don't. This is where silver becomes your shield. When silver climbs into the $75, $150 range during this next monetary tightening cycle, as history and supply shortages strongly suggest, your ounces start carrying real economic weight. At $100 silver, every 1,000 ounces represents $100,000 in wealth. That means even a mid-sized stack of 1,500 to 2,000 ounces will represent the equivalent of 2 to 3 years of income by not by selling it all, but by strategically liquidating only the amount needed while holding the rest as your long-term fortress. The key is not the total dollar figure, but the replacement power. Silver isn't only being stored, it's being positioned to step in when cash fails to keep up with inflation. Remember, silver has historically, and I mean historically, outperformed hard assets during periods of monetary reset. In the 1970s, silver didn't just rise, silver exploded. Today, supply is tighter, industrial demand is higher, and the dollar is far more fragile. When silver spikes to $150 to $200, then a 2,000 ounce stack essentially becomes $300,000 to $400,000 inflation-proof reservoir. That alone can replace multiple years of income, buying you time, freedom, and the ability to walk away from a job if need be. This is why many seasoned stackers target the 1,500 to 3,000 ounce range if their goal is financial independence. It's realistic, it's attainable, it's powerful, folks. It's also far easier to build than trying to chase unrealistic 50,000 ounce stacks meant for doomsday fantasies. And I've never met anybody with that much silver. I've met people with 5,000 ounces, which is crazy, but never 50,000. A disciplined buyer stacking 10 to 20 ounces a week can reach true income replacement territory within a few years, not decades. And I know easier said than done, because when you do the math, that's $500 to $1,000 a week. But there's a lot of people that have that extra $500 to $1,000 a week if only they knew what they were doing with them. So, how much silver do you really need? The answer is simple: enough that a major price run transforms your stack into a working asset, not only a hobby. For most people, that's around $1,500 to 3,000 ounces, your personal financial generator when the dollar stumbles, as it is. In a world where cash weakens every year, silver becomes more than a hedge. It becomes your backup income, your protection, your escape plan, your freedom. But folks, as always, thank you so much for joining us for another evening, another episode of Silver Dad Knows. God bless you, God bless your household, and God bless America.